How do you stay focused when starting a business? The struggle is real. Okay, I've been a business owner for 13 years and I've had to stay focused. So I'm going to share with you in this episode what you can do so that you can stay focused enough to succeed. Okay, I've got 7 tips for you. And all 7 of these, they're not in any order, but they're all important. And I highly recommend them. They will help you have the focus that you need to be able to succeed in business, to give your business the attention that it needs. So the first one, the way that I wrote it down on my notes is to create a plan and stick to it. Maybe even a stronger way to say that would be to keep commitments to yourself. If you put something on your calendar, then keep it. Like keep that appointment to yourself or keep that schedule. Now that doesn't mean that you look ahead at the day and say, okay, at this hour I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That you need to cram pack things in there, but it might mean, oh, at 1 o'clock I'm going to do that, and at 4 o'clock I'm going to do this. Even if you just add those 2 things to your calendar, when you get to 1 o'clock and when you get to 4 o'clock, do those things. Even if it's just for 5 minutes or you have to keep commitments to yourself. That's the best exercise that you can do in teaching yourself, I trust myself, I can focus. The second tip though, to make this more likely to be a reality, is to give yourself space. So if you think something will take an hour, give yourself 90 minutes or even give yourself 2 hours or just plan a break in between. That's something that was really hard for me to learn. When I intentionally started giving myself a break, it took the pressure off. And if I got behind on my schedule, it's okay because I planned breaks in there. And then I could still keep the commitments that I made to myself. Now, because of the different stages I've had in my business, early on, I mean, I've mentioned that for 8.5 years, my business was a financial roller coaster. So during that time, there's this urgency, there's this weight that I feel on my shoulders because of the urgency to make ends meet, to be able to cover the bills and to be able to pay all of my team. Now, beyond that 8.5-year mark, I started to have more success and I had money in savings and all my debts were paid off. But I still worked with that same urgency and that same stress. I had to take kind of a 3-month retirement. I whittled my schedule down and I decided, you know what, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm not working at all. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm working for the morning only. I was trying to give myself permission to take a break, but because I had worked so hard for so long, I felt guilty anytime I took a break. I was guilty for spending time with my family. So I had to make a drastic change and reprogram my mind. Doing that for 3 months, it really worked. It helped. I did a lot of hiking and a lot of mountain biking, just a lot of spending time outdoors. And I only worked a few hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I had a great team. I had a great team that backed me up. They filled in things and nothing really fell through the cracks in my business. My clients were still taken care of. What changed in those 3 months, because now I put more time into this because I love what I'm doing. I was able to create more. After that, I actually expanded my business and I opened up to my Florida studio house here. But what I'm grateful for in that experience is now I can take a break and I don't feel guilty for it. So hopefully that was helpful. So I don't know if you have that same challenge as me, but one recommendation I have for you is when you're putting together your schedule, prioritize recreation and still time and downtime just as much as the important tasks, the money-making tasks in your business. Prioritize the recreation. Now, a really important suggestion, and you might find this difficult to do, but for me, to eliminate distractions, I have my phone settings turned off so that it does not buzz, it does not ring, I cannot accept voicemail. A lot of people get irritated by that, but I've had it that way for over a decade, that you cannot get a hold of me unless I look at my phone. And I only look at my phone when I'm ready to see what messages have people sent me. Are there anything that I need to respond to? And I'll put that into my calendar. I'll schedule a specific time. Okay, I've got an appointment here, I've got a break, and then I've got time I'm going to check in on my email or my messages. It actually allows me to do a whole lot. Like if a client has to wait a couple of hours to hear from me, a lot of my team is on the other side of the planet. So our communication, we're used to missing each other and not getting that perfect, at the same time communication. But using asynchronous communication, I rely on it. I've actually found something else to be a good practice, and it might sound harsh, but if I'm actually in my email and a client emails me right then, it would be really easy for me just to type a response. But you know what happens if I respond like a minute after they sent it? They'll respond again and they'll expect another immediate response. So if I'm there, I have a scheduler in my email. And if they send me an email and I think, you know what, it's probably best that I send this response in 2 hours, I will type my response, and then instead of hitting send, I'll hit schedule, and I'll pick the time for 2 hours later, because I want to help them. And I'm already in my email, I'm doing my email tasks, but I don't want to train them that I'm going to respond immediately every time, because I'm not going to be able to respond immediately every time. So if I respond immediately right then, it'll then create disappointment when I don't do that later. Now, when you're self-employed, you're building your own business, we have the luxury of working from home. But that also brings some challenges because there's distractions. I love my wife and I love my kids. In fact, right now I'm thinking about my 10-year-old son. He adores me and he loves spending time with me. And I never want to turn him away. He is homeschooled right now, so when I'm working at my home office and he comes in and he asks me, "Hey Dad, you want to play a game?" I don't like saying no. I love playing games with him. But if I'm working, it actually is a distraction and I shouldn't turn away from that. So what I have to do is I say goodbye to him in the morning and I go 8 minutes drive away to my studio house and I have an office there. And I'm able to do my work. And then when I'm done with my work, I go back home and I can spend time and give 100% attention to my wife and to my kids. So it's very helpful to work away from home. Now, being able to turn off work when I go home is actually something that I've struggled with in the past as well, especially when the urgency was high. Like I really needed to make more income because maybe I didn't have the savings or whatnot. I'm still not perfect at it, but I am a lot better. And I've recognized that when I turn work off when I'm at home, when I am at work, I'm actually able to be more effective and more productive and more focused. My attention is more on my work because I know and I expect that I'm going to get these breaks. Now, I've got a gift for you, okay? I wrote a book. I published this earlier this year, but it took me 2 years to write. This is a book on how to leverage YouTube to generate leads in your business. And so if that's something that you want to do, I want to give you my book for free. Now, you do need to pay the shipping cost, but as long as you cover that, this is my gift to you. Just go to natesyoutubebook.com. I know if you read this book, you'll really be able to do what I've done on over 50 different YouTube channels and really leverage YouTube to generate leads. I've helped channels produce 7 and 8 figures just from following this strategy. Enjoy.